Girl, I see your face everywhere. When I'm going out, you'll be there. 'Cause everything reminds me of you. I can't take no more. Girl, I think I'm losing my mind. Try to go to work, but I lost track of time. 'Cause everyone keep looking like you. I can't take no more. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you with someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. What you need from me, need your love on me, put your love on me. I'ma do everything for you. I don't want anyone but you. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. Can we stop the clock and rewind? Go back to that moment in time when you say you want me for life. Was it all a lie? I gave my all to deserve ya, begging on my knees just to show ya you're the one I want and I love ya. No, 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 no lie. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you with someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself.
Gotta get that
Put
nature.
your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. What you need from me, need your love on me, put your love on me. I'ma do everything for you. I don't want anyone but you. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. Your love, your love, your love, your love.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of talking about different ancestral postpartum healing practices. These are practices that have been around for centuries from all over the world. Things like I mentioned in the previous video: belly binding, placenta encapsulation, and herbal baths. Now, I know in my last video I was saying if you were unsure about herbs to get with an herbologist. I meant to get with an herbalist. So the herbologists study the herbs. The herbalist, they work with the herbs and can recommend this herb does that. So minor correction there. But anyway, just kind of the people reaching out and talking to me about that video. I know you folks are going to be excited for the second part. I know that you want more information on postpartum healing practices. So excited to bring that to you. So today we're going to go deeper. We're going to talk about what we're putting into our bodies immediately postpartum, in those first 6 weeks of postpartum. And then hopefully by the end of this episode, you're going to walk away with something that you can apply immediately to your postpartum or incorporate into your postpartum planning. So whether you're a doula that is going to help prep a client for postpartum, or if you're a childbirth educator and you're starting to build out your foundation for your 4th trimester curriculum, or maybe you're someone who's just postpartum right now and you're trying to figure out how you can start feeling like yourself again, or feeling whole and complete and healed. This is part 2, and I created just for you. So let's get started. Before we get into today's content, I just want to lay down the foundation, because everything in these 2 episodes, it sits inside the same truth. Your postpartum body is not broken. It's not bouncing back. It doesn't need to be fixed. It's essentially rebuilding and becoming stronger. And in order for it to rebuild, it needs raw materials. It requires you to be intentional with what is going into your body. And it requires someone, so whether they're a doula, an educator, or a community member, or you are a birthing person yourself, you need to understand that recovery, it doesn't just happen on its own. It's created, and it's really, I keep saying this, it's just really intentional. So like I said, we talked about wrapping your body, honoring your placenta, however that works for you if encapsulation is not for you, soothing the tissues in your body, right? Today, I want to focus a little bit more on internally. So I want to talk about feeding from the inside out. And I think one of the most misunderstood but powerful postpartum rituals in ancestral healing traditions is yoni steaming. And people are like scared. I don't know if people think you're blasting a pipe of steam or using an iron. I don't know what people think about yoni steaming. But if you take really, really hot showers, you're essentially yoni steaming. So you shouldn't be scared about it. I think the yoni steaming, when you go to a professional, they make sure you're in an optimal seated position. So all the steam, we'll go into it. But like, you're basically yoni steaming in the shower if you're taking a hot shower, just minus the herbs. So that's one of the big things we're going to talk about today. But let's kick it off with nourishment. So wet, warm, and protein. These are the three words I'm going to preach forever in every single childbirth education class or postpartum healing workshop. These are the three things that are essential for postpartum nutrition. I want you to memorize them, internalize them, start using it with every client. If you're a doula or a birth worker, wet, warm, protein. That's it. That is the foundation. And I'm going to tell you why every single one matters. So wet. When you're postpartum, even when you're pregnant, sometimes you're like, man, I'm dehydrated. Even more so postpartum. Your body is going to become depleted of fluids. Think about everything that's happened, right? During labor, you lost quite a bit of blood volume. Then you have the onset of milk production if you're choosing or your client is choosing to breastfeed baby. And then like maybe you had a C-section or maybe you had an episiotomy or maybe you tore naturally. That has to heal as well. And without fluids and hydration, like your body can't heal. So just to begin with, your body's already sort of running on this deficit of nourishment and hydration. And so we always tell clients to drink water, but there is a difference between drinking plain water and consuming foods that are hydrating from the inside out. Plus, drinking water all the time can get annoying, right? I don't know about you, but I had a water aversion when I was pregnant and postpartum. I just didn't want water. I got tired of drinking plain water and coconut water and Element and IV, liquid IV, right? So that's why I say your food needs to be wet. So think of broths, soups, stews, different herbal teas. Not only are these comfort foods, they're medicine. So you're going to get food, but you're also going to get hydration with the food. Kind of like your baby's getting hydration and food from breast milk. So these types of food are going to help deliver hydration along with nutrients in a way so that your body can absorb it efficiently without having to work hard. Remember, your stomach was all squished up inside of you. Then you also had relaxin in your body. And all these things impact how your stomach works. And in those first early postpartum days, when your body's already on overtime, we want to make it as easy as possible. Remove any unnecessary burden on your body. So this is also where like placenta encapsulation kind of connects to nourishment. So if you have clients who've chosen to encapsulate, it just kind of works better as part of a broader nourishment plan. So it's not standalone solution. So that's a whole picture. That's why we want wet food. Because if you eat soup or a broth or something, you're getting protein. Maybe there's some potatoes in there. You're getting your starchy carbs, but there's a ton of water. Okay? All right. The food has to be warm. Postpartum is not a time for no cold salad. I would even argue it's not a time for smoothies. Immediate postpartum. But I understand if you have to sneak a smoothie in because maybe you didn't get enough protein or whatever during the day. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd rather you drink bone broth than a cold smoothie in the first 6 weeks postpartum. That's my honest truth. The thing is, cold foods require your body to expend a lot more energy to process them. The energy postpartum, in the postpartum body, it doesn't have enough to spare. So this is not something that's new, right? This is rooted in Ayurvedic tradition, traditional Chinese medicine. and Latina postpartum care, even West African healing practices. They all center warmth as a foundational principle of postpartum recovery. Warm food is just easier to digest, it's easier to absorb, and it signals to your nervous system that your body is safe, cared for, and supported. I want you to think about this practically if you're a doula or birth worker for your clients. How many postpartum people are grabbing cold cereal in the morning because it's fast? Eating a salad for lunch because they're trying to lose the baby weight. Skipping meals because they forgot to eat. This is not recovery. This is not going to help someone recover postpartum. That is survival mode. And we need to do better than that. So when you talk to your clients prenatally about postpartum nourishment, help them think ahead. So prenatally, they should be planning freezer meals and eat kind of slow cooked soups that they can set aside and forget. Warm oatmeal with protein powder mixed in, right? Instead of the alternative of a cold protein shake. That's the goal, okay? Excuse me. Protein. This is the one I feel gets missed the most. Protein is like the raw material for everything that your postpartum body is trying to do simultaneously. Tissue repair, hormone regulation, milk production, mood stabilization, energy, everything. And most postpartum people are significantly under eating protein without even realizing it. I think most human beings, at least in the States, are not getting enough protein. So here's what I tell my clients and students. If you're postpartum and you are crying more than feels normal, if you're exhausted beyond what sleep deprivation alone can explain, and if you feel like your recovery feels stalled, like you're not healing quickly, before anything else, look at your protein intake. It is the building block of like physical life. It's probably almost always lower than it should be. Practical options that are accessible and affordable. You don't need like no bougie steak. You don't need no bougie salmon if that's not available to you, right? Because times are tough. Eggs, bone broth, lentil soup, canned fish, tuna, or I guess I said salmon, but like canned salmon, mackerel, legumes, Greek yogurt, if dairy is your jam. It does not have to be complicated meat. You just have to be consistent about it every day. And I know sometimes I'm not consistent, but when I am consistent, I feel better. I also look better. So that my skin, my hair is thicker, right? Like, protein is that building block that I think really gets missed during postpartum. And here's the birth worker application. So start having the postpartum nutrition conversation during prenatal visits. It is not supposed to be an afterthought. It's not just a handout that you slide across the table at the end of your relationship with a family. It's a real conversation. Help your clients build a simple nourishment plan before the baby arrives, because then you can even do a prenatal visit where you go and help them like prep and like, I don't know if that's in your services. I offer that. No one has taken me up on it yet, but all my clients have already prepped their stuff and put them in the freezer by the time I do their last prenatal. Because once the baby arrives, the bandwidth for planning disappears. It is too late, almost. So that's why it's important as a postpartum doula to do this work prenatally so that your clients are not, bustling to figure it out during postpartum. Okay, I have a huge zit on my face like I'm a teenager. Wow. Yoni steaming. So let's talk about yoni steaming. And I want to start the same way I started the placenta encapsulation conversation a couple weeks ago, by asking you to check your energy around this topic before you bring it to a client. And for a client to kind of just like check your energy around it as well. Because yoni steaming is one of those practices that can get a raised eyebrow from people who are not familiar with it. Like I said, it's not like we take a blow dryer and we're blowing it up your undercarriage, right? if you're a birth worker, you need to be grounded in this knowledge, and you need to feel comfortable when you're presenting this um, to your clients. So let's just start normalizing it now. It's normal. People do it. You do it all the time and don't realize it, except you're doing it without the herbs and guidance. So what's yoni steaming? At its most basic, it's the practice of sitting or squatting over a pot of warm water that's been infused and boiled with healing herbs, allowing the steam to rise and make contact with the vaginal tissue in the perineum. It's gentle, it's non-invasive, and it's been practiced across so many cultures for thousands of years. In Korea, I believe it's called chayok. And then in Central America and the Caribbean, it's something that's deeply rooted in indigenous healing practices. And then across the African continent, I've seen a lot of this done in like North Africa. But there are different variations of this practice that have been used by women for generations. So it's not a trend. It is, again, ancestral wisdom. And it really got pushed to the margins, and it's now kind of finding its way back, or it has been finding its way back for a while. What does it do for your postpartum body or your clients? In the postpartum period specifically, yoni steaming can support healing in several meaningful ways. The warmth of the steam can increase circulation to the perineal tissue. So if they had a tear or an episiotomy, and increased circulation means faster healing. So, or maybe just perineal stress during birth, right? Maybe they didn't tear, but like all those tissues and muscles still have to stretch for baby to make their way. So the herbs that are used in the steam have their own therapeutic properties that work synergistically with the heat. So for example, lavender can soothe and reduce inflammation. Mugwort is probably one of the most traditionally used herbs in yoni steaming, and this one supports uterine health and can help the uterus complete its postpartum contraction process. So come back small. Then we have rosemary, which is antimicrobial and stimulates circulation. Calendula, one of my favorites. We talked about this in my previous videos in the context of herbal baths, but this one is deeply soothing and anti-inflammatory. And then basil has been used traditionally to support menstrual and reproductive health. So beyond the physical, there's something very intentional about yoni steaming as a postpartum practice. We're asking the birthing person to slow down, sit, to tend to part of the body that did the most extraordinary work, right? In a culture that wants postpartum women to be back on their feet, back to work, back to normal as soon as possible, yoni steaming is this like quiet act of resistance. It says the body deserves care, just like all these other practices I'm telling you about. Your body deserves attention. Your body deserves to be honored. So, what to know before recommending it if you're a birth worker? It's important to be responsible here as birth workers because we always have to lead with informed consent and honest information. There are a lot of important considerations around yoni steaming postpartum, so timing matters. Most practitioners recommend waiting until postpartum bleeding or lochia has significantly decreased or completely stopped before yoni steaming. Typically around 4 to 6 weeks, though it varies. I've seen people with who've healed in like 2 weeks. A client who's still experiencing like the heavy lochia is not a good candidate yet. And any client with an active infection, like a fever, mastitis, open wounds, or complications from birth, absolutely need to consult their provider before doing any steaming. The temperature also matters. Like it should be warm, not hot. So a good rule of thumb is that if your client has to hover to find a comfortable distance, the water is too hot. The goal is gentle warmth, not like intense heat. And there's a lot of other aspects that you have to consider. Is your client tends to be warm? Do they tend to be cold? Like I tend to be cold. All those things will impact how long they steam for. And if you don't know anything I'm talking about, it's not within your scope of work, that's fine. Refer out when needed. If you're not trained in yoni steaming protocols, connect your client with a practitioner like me who is. Because we're trained yoni steam facilitators, and you can also connect them with an herbalist who specializes in postpartum care. Know who they are in your community and make that connection for your clients. Or you can check out different yoni steam like pot companies, and they literally, your client could buy the whole kit and do it themselves. They can buy this yoni steam pot. It's a really cute pot. They can buy a heater for it if they want to. You don't need a heater because depending on what your situation is, you really only sit over it for 10 minutes or 30 minutes. Those are like your two options really. But lots of herbalists make different postpartum concoctions like on Etsy and things like that. So you don't have to, you can just recommend it to them. Like you don't have to facilitate it if you're not comfortable, but definitely get comfortable with talking about it and mentioning it. So as a birth worker, here's how I want you to think about bringing yoni steaming into your practice. So first of all, educate yourself deeply, like I just said, before you educate your clients. Maybe do a workshop or take a training or connect with other practitioners who've been doing this work for a while. Come to the conversation with knowledge and confidence, okay? Secondly, introduce it prenatally because yoni steaming can actually help induce labor as well. You want to help your clients understand what it is, what it does, and how to prepare. And they can, like I said, purchase a simple yoni steam herb kit prior to birth so that it's ready and waiting for them right postpartum. And then finally, frame it as part of the whole, right? So yoni steaming is not a standalone miracle. It's just a beautiful piece of a really intentional postpartum healing plan that includes binding, nourishment, herbal baths, rest, community, support. So when we offer our clients a whole picture instead of a single tool, you can change the entire trajectory of their postpartum journey. And that's the work. That's why doulas are here, and yoni steamers and belly binders. So here's where we are. 2 episodes in on covering 6 different postpartum healing practices that have been used by women across cultures, across centuries, across continents: belly binding, placenta encapsulation, herbal baths, nourishment with wet, warm, and protein foods, and then yoni steaming. Oh, did I say 6? I think I meant 5. No, and yoni steaming. Yeah, 6. Sorry. None of these are radical. They're not dangerous. You still have to be careful and get provider approval, but they're all rooted in the same simple truth that your postpartum body or a postpartum body deserves intentional, active, and supported recovery. And the birth workers in this community are the bridge between the wisdom and the families that we serve. So I just want to leave you with one question to sit with this week. Which of these practices are you not yet having conversations about with your clients? And if you're a postpartum person, which of these practices did you know nothing about? And what would it take to get you to start one of these? So drop it in the comments, please. I genuinely want to know. This community is like one of my favorite places to think out loud and learn just as much from you as I hope you're learning from me. If you missed part 1, make sure you go back and watch it. The link is, I hopefully remember to put it in the description. And subscribe if you haven't already, because we have so much more coming this year. And I really appreciate all the support. You're helping a small-owned business. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Girl, I see your face everywhere. When I'm going out, you'll be there. 'Cause everything reminds me of you. I can't take no more. Girl, I think I'm losing my mind. Try to go to work, but I lost track of time. 'Cause everyone keep looking like you. I can't take no more. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you as someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me. What you need from me, need your love on me, put your love on me. I'm faith in me, put your love on me. Can we stop the clock and rewind? Go back to that moment in time. When you say you want me for life, was it all a lie? I gave my all to deserve ya, begging on my knees just to show ya you're the one I want and I love ya. No, 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 no lie. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so much to think of you with someone else. Can't get enough when you're sweet talking to me. Now I'm talking sweet all by myself. Put your arms around me, put your faith in me, put your love on me.